Right now it's really hard to kill the enemy zombies. Let's have a look at the game. They just have a bit too much health. Since our game's about shooting bad guys, don't make it a chore. Our bullets rip through those zombies easily. Since our game's about shooting bad guys, don't make it a chore. We want to make our bullets rip through those zombies easily by decreasing their health. Players want to feel like they're able to have an impact on the game without having too much of a struggle. So let's go and edit the zombie script. And we want to change its health. So up here, when it's created, it has a health of 100. Let's randomize that a bit. Let's make it from 20 health to 40 health. So substantially lower than 100, but we can randomize that number to make the game a bit more interesting. So from operators, we want this block here, random integer from 1 to 100. And we can just set the range of the numbers, 20 to 40. And now, if we play that, should be a bit easier to kill these zombies. Nice. Now, what about with our rate of fire? That's pretty slow, isn't it? What actions can our player perform? You might as well let them do as much of that as possible. In our case, that means lots more bullets. JW from Vlambeer said, you might as well put a lot of shooting in there, since it's my only way of communicating with this sad world. So let's go and edit the gun script here. Right click on that, edit script. And we want to find this block here, every 400 milliseconds. If not dead, if trigger held, shoot. So instead of every 400 milliseconds, let's try a substantially lower number. Let's try something like 100. So every 100 milliseconds, that's a tenth of a second. So we should be able to shoot 10 bullets per second. So that feels a bit cooler. Now we can really kill zombies pretty quickly. Nice. Okay. Now that we are so good at killing zombies, we might as well add more zombies. Each zombie killed feels like an achievement, so let's amp that up. Let's go to the zombie spawner up here, this text object. Right click on that and edit its script. And we want to increase the number of zombies spawned. So what we could do is, instead of every 3000 milliseconds, we could make it every 1000. So every second. And there's also something else we could do as well to create waves of zombies. Let's test this out first. Every 1 second it'll make a zombie. So that's pretty cool, but what I think I might do is, instead of this, I might say every 10 seconds. Let's try every 6 seconds. A lot of this will be experimentation. Every 6 seconds, 6,000 milliseconds, repeat how many times create a zombie. Let's make a wave of 8 zombies every 6 seconds. Let's see how that looks. It might be too much. Whoa. Kinda cool. Very cool. There's another method we could use for making waves of zombies as well. Instead of, let's just disable this block here for now. We right click on that and disable. And make a bit of space. Whoops. Make a bit of space here. What we could do is we could have smaller waves, and as time goes past, we'll create larger and larger waves over time. So if we go to control flow and grab this block after 100 milliseconds have passed, when the level starts, let's say in 2 seconds, 2000 milliseconds, we will, and let's duplicate this, repeat times create zombie. After 2 seconds have passed, when the level starts, we'll make 5 zombies, and then we can duplicate that. This is basically our wave creator now. So we could put it underneath there, and when the level starts, how about after 10,000 milliseconds, 10 seconds, we could make an 8 zombie wave, and then duplicate that again, and after 15 seconds, or maybe let's make that 18. We can make a 10 zombie wave, etc. And you can just keep ramping that up. You'll want to experiment with the timings and the amount of times that you repeat the create zombie function. Let's see how it works. So that could be a cool way for you to create more interesting enemies in your game. Okay, how about our bullets? Let's look at our bullets and make them a bit bigger. So right now we're shooting out those tiny little bullets. Let's exaggerate the important features of our game so that they stand out. Bigger bullets feel more powerful. So if we go up to the top corner of our game, we've got our bullet here. We've got this other bullet as well, a lot bigger, looks cooler. Let's right click on that little bullet there and remove the script from it. Then we'll go over to our code sidebar, find our bullet script, should be somewhere in here. Bullet. There it is. Put it on that bullet, and let's play that now, see how that looks. Okay, that's a bit cooler. It's a bit cooler, but it still needs some improving, doesn't it? How about we add a little muzzle flash, so when we shoot, we can accentuate our gunshots. A lot of first-person shooter games have that little flash that comes out of the gun. So let's go and find, here we go, we've got our muzzle flash object. And this is the script on it, very good. So it's got this tag muzzle flash on it. Now we want to go and find our gun script, edit that gun script, and we want to make our gun script keep track of that muzzle flash. So we are going to create a new class variable to keep track of the muzzle flash so we can spawn a new one. So the gun, we'll go over to variables and we'll click create variable, and let's name this muzzle flash, and the type will be a class. And then in here we'll have set class muzzle flash. We're going to grab that, pop that up in there when the level starts. So when the level starts, we'll set the class muzzle flash, to class of first instance by tag muzzle flash. So we'll go find the muzzle flash using this tag. If we go to sensing, we need this block under tagging, first instance by tag, and then that was muzzle flash. Now we can't connect, this first instance block into the class block. It needs to convert this object, this instance, into a class. A class is like all objects of a type, and an instance is one specific object of that type. So if we go to sensing under class, we can use this block, class of myself, throw away the myself, pop class of in there, and then first instance by tag muzzle flash. Okay, so that's remembering which object is the muzzle flash. Now the gun will be able to remember that. Let's then go down to our shoot function right here. When we're shooting a bullet, let's also let's make a new function in here that will run. So we go to functions and grab do something, and let's name this muzzle flash, and we'll clean up our blocks, make a bit of space here, and then back in functions we'll grab muzzle flash and put that in our shoot function. Okay, and what is this going to do? Well, we want to make a new muzzle flash. The way that we can make a new object of a class is we'll go to draw, and up the very top there, create new instance of class. So this lets us clone objects. Create new instance of class, and let's change that class to muzzle flash. Okay, and we want our muzzle flash to move in front of the gun. Block for that is from looks. We go down the bottom there, move. We want move myself move in front of. Let's get rid of instance other, put myself over on the right, and then on the left we want this to be the instance. We just made a new instance, so we can right click on that instance and go create get instance. So this new clone will go in front of myself, the gun. Now let's position the muzzle flash. We'll go to transform, grab set X position of myself, and get rid of myself and duplicate local instance. That's the muzzle flash. We don't want it to go to 0. We want it to go to position of myself and then plus a number. So we'll grab from transform X position of myself and then operators plus and then a number. Let's say plus 27. You can play with these numbers if you want. And then we'll duplicate that and set the Y position as well. Vertical position needs to be, let's do minus 36. I've already done this, so I know the good positioning. And then we will destroy the muzzle flash very quickly, so we only see it briefly. It will just flash and then disappear. So from control flow, we'll grab after 100 milliseconds. Let's make that 20 milliseconds, very brief. And then from control flow, we want destroy myself, but we don't want to destroy the gun. We want to destroy this instance, the muzzle flash. Okay, good. Now there's a couple of other things we need to do in here, but let's just test this out. Click play. And there we can see the muzzle flash appearing. We need it to go over to the left if we're facing left, and it also needs to go down a little bit, doesn't it? It's a bit too high. So go back down to our muzzle flash. We need the Y position to be up. Let's make that minus 18 instead of minus 36. 36 is too much. Now, when we're facing left and we're facing right, we need an if-else block to check if we're facing left, else if we're facing right. So we'll go to control flow and grab if do else and drag that out. And let's put our Y block there and then put our X block inside the if. And this if block is going to say if scale of myself is greater than 0. So if the gun is facing right, its scale will be positive. If it's facing left, its scale will be negative. So from transform, we'll grab scale of myself, and then from operators, we want this equals block. We'll change that to greater than. Scale x of myself greater than, and then we just need a 0 in there. Greater than 0. And that'll make it go across a bit, so it'll go to the right. But if it's not, we want to duplicate this x position block, and we want that to be minus, so it goes a bit to the left. And that's where that 36 goes. Let's play that now. And that is the muzzle flash. So that looks pretty cool. There's one other thing we can do just to randomize its scale, to make it look a little more interesting. If we go to transform and grab set x scale of myself, let's pop that in there. And we'll also do one for the y scale. And instead of that being 1, let's drag those 1s out of there. We're going to have a random number from 0.8 to 1.2. But the random number block can't do decimal points, so we need to divide it. So we'll go to operators, grab a plus block, change that to divide, and let's make that divided by 100. And then we'll go and grab the random number block from operators, random integer from, let's say, from 80 to 120, and when you divide that by 100, that'll be 0.8 to 1.2, because this block needs things that are from 0 or 0.5 or 1. 1 is 100% basically. So pop that in there, and let's duplicate that for the y scale as well. So it'll kind of randomize the size from 80% to 120%. Oh, I've actually got it happening for the gun, which is not what I want. Whoops. Let's go and change these. Instead of myself, we want those to be a local instance. There we go. Nice.